The spotlight may not be a stage light. Sometimes it's the doorway to a party, the line to a shop, or the doorway of a meeting room. But it feels just as merciless. This is the moment preparation meets pressure. But here's the brutal truth. Most people fold under this weight. They freeze, they hold back, they choke, they let their potential evaporate like morning mist under a rising sun. The difference between those who rise and those who crumble isn't talent, it's psychology. Think about the person who rehearsed a conversation for weeks and then felt their mind go blank as soon as someone asked the first question. Or the parent who needs to call a school about a concern and freezes when the phone rings. Performance anxiety doesn't only cost athletes or CEOs. It costs everyday people opportunities, relationships, and confidence. The mind, that magnificent architect of possibility, becomes a saboteur when left untrained. Like an untamed stallion, it either carries you to victory or tramples everything you've built. What would you do if you could harness that power instead of fearing it? I remember the first time I signed off what I then considered a major client. My knees knocking like castanets. My voice felt thinner than usual, and I kept wondering if I was truly ready for that level of responsibility. Then I remembered something my mentor once told me. Pressure is a privilege. It means you're worthy of the moment. The choice isn't whether you'll feel pressure, it's whether you'll let it crush you or catapult you forward. The core of peak performance isn't about working harder. It's about rewiring your nervous system to thrive under pressure. When you understand that your brain treats uncertainty like a predator, you can transform that ancient survival mechanism into your greatest competitive advantage. This is the paradox of excellence, the very thing that makes you human. Your capacity to anticipate danger becomes the obstacle to greatness. Master this, and you unlock what elite performers call the flow state, where time dilates and capability expands beyond normal limits. 3 principles govern this transformation. First, the Yerkes-Dodson law reveals that moderate stress enhances performance, while too much or too little cripples it, like a violin string that must be tuned just right to produce perfect pitch. Second, cognitive reframing teaches that the same physical signs, a fast heartbeat, shallow breaths, can be named panic or readiness, depending on how you interpret them. Third, deliberate practice with immediate feedback creates neural pathways that bypass conscious thought, turning complex skills into automatic responses. Practicing a skill in the actual conditions where it matters builds neural shortcuts that make responses automatic. This is how small, private rehearsals turn into confident, calm performance in the moment. Think of your mind as a garden. You can plant flowers or weeds depending on what you seed. When you deliberately plant helpful habits, labeling sensations, practicing under pressure, reframing setbacks, you stop being at the mercy of your thoughts and start guiding them. That's how you perform under pressure, bounce back quicker, and keep operating at your best. Again, the question isn't whether pressure will come, it's whether you'll let it crush you or cultivate you. Imagine a person who avoids social gatherings because they feel exhausting and uncertain. Instead of forcing a personality change, they learn to channel the energy. One steady breath, a grounded posture, one deliberate sentence, or one genuine question. The adrenaline no longer stops them. It sharpens them. Their character begins to land, not because they became fearless, but because they stopped fighting the fear and started working with it. Now consider a person who needs to ask for a pay raise. They've rehearsed the numbers, refined the wording, maybe even practiced in front of the mirror. But as the conversation approaches, their throat tightens and their confidence wavers. Instead of avoiding it, they role-play the discussion with a trusted friend. They practice until it feels natural. When their heart starts racing, they label it ready instead of panic. The meeting isn't perfect, but because they trained both the message and their nervous system, they walk away with a stronger outcome than they expected. Each small success expands what feels manageable. The growth isn't dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and sustainable. And over time, it reshapes their sense of what they're capable of. To make that steady change practical, here's a compact micro playbook you can start using today. Label physical arousal as readiness, not threat. Practice under conditions that mimic real pressure. Reframe setbacks as data, not disasters. Build recovery rituals into your routine. Focus on process, not outcome. Create immediate feedback loops. Train your attention like a muscle. Embrace discomfort as a signal of growth. These aren't platitudes. They're concrete habits that turn nervous energy into usable fuel. The riskiest move is to keep avoiding the things that scare you. When you face fear, even while feeling terrified, unsure, and human, the emotion doesn't necessarily fade. What changes is your relationship with it. Fear becomes part of how you show up, and that integration feels authentic. There's a quiet power in that honesty. Vulnerability, once embraced, becomes strength. Conventional wisdom says to eliminate anxiety first, then perform. But peak performers know the truth. The fear doesn't disappear until you stop running from it. Are you ready to stop fleeing and start flying? For the next 7 days, you'll deliberately seek out situations that make you slightly uncomfortable. Each morning, identify one task that triggers mild anxiety. Making a phone call you've been avoiding, sharing an idea in a meeting, or trying a new skill in public. The rules are simple. Acknowledge the physical sensations without labeling them as good or bad. Breathe deeply for 3 counts before engaging, and afterward, write down one specific thing you learned about your response pattern. The payoff is profound. You'll discover that discomfort is not your enemy, but your most reliable teacher. 6 months from now, you'll look back and realize you've become someone who doesn't just survive pressure. You seek it out like an athlete craves competition. The garden of your mind has transformed. Where weeds of doubt once choked your potential, now flowers of capability bloom in abundance. Your core benefit is this. You've developed the rare ability to perform at your best, precisely when it matters most. Choose one small pressure situation today and lean into it completely. The window of opportunity is now, because every day you wait is another day your potential remains locked away. The seeds you plant today determine the harvest you reap tomorrow.